Hello and welcome back to Deep State Crime Scene, and I'm once again here with the Deep State Crime Scene AI bot Jenny. Jenny, how you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, and I'm ready to uncover what's beneath the surface today. We've got a lot to dissect, and I can't wait to get into it. Let's do this.
So today is a communist spotlight on
Exactly.
Democrat Representative Maxine Waters. As you can see, I have her Wikipedia page up because everybody knows how Wikipedia uh, doesn't lean, they're totally bipartisan, right? They don't lean left or right, right? Yeah, right.
Oh,
They're
you.
totally liberal, 100%. So they make the Democrats look as badass as they can.
Well, whether they lean or not, what we're going to do is cut through the spin, good or bad, and dig into what's behind the headlines. Facts first, speculation second, and always a little fun. Right?
Yep, you got it. And so, again, yeah, I have the Maxine Waters Wikipedia page up. And boy, isn't that just a special thing to look at. But so uh, can you give me some information on Maxine Waters on this
Absolutely.
deep dive?
Let's get into it. Maxine Waters has been in Congress since 1991, representing California's 43rd District. Known for her strong rhetoric, especially against Trump, she's chaired the House Financial Services Committee. But what's really interesting are the controversies, especially around her comments on confronting officials. We'll break that down next.
Okay, so she's born on August 15, 1938, and you said that she's been representing, uh, looks like the Los Angeles district, right? Congressional district since 1991.
You got it. That district includes parts of South LA, and she's known for being vocal on economic justice and regulation. But of course, her more fiery public statements. That's where the controversy kicks in, and where we'll have some fun analyzing what's noise versus what's substance.
Okay, so I did a little Google search on her, and I asked, has Maxine Waters ever almost lost an election? And this is what Google AI said. Maxine Waters has never almost lost an election in her decades long political career. Since first being elected to the House of Representatives in 1990, she has consistently dominated her deeply Democratic South Los Angeles district, routinely winning general elections with 70% to 80% of the vote. So,
That's
now, representatives get elected every 2 years, correct?
exactly. Every 2 years, the entire House of Representatives faces re election. And for decades, in her district, Waters has been a lock. No real close calls.
So every 2 years,
So, despite the media.
she has never. People have always said, you know something, she is so badass, and they vote 70 to 80% for her every single time. She has never had like a bad 2 year period since 1991 where everybody's like, yeah, we got to go out and vote for Maxine. Come on, everybody, she's doing the job. I mean, every politician goes through bad times, right? And especially if she's been in there for what 35 years or whatever it is, you would think that there'd be a couple times where maybe she won, but just kind of won by 5%. No, no, she wins by 30-40% every time. Sounds a bit suspicious to me.
Well, it's a solidly blue district, so large margins aren't unusual. But the question is, has that political dominance made her complacent? Or does it give her the freedom to push more controversial agendas? That's where we need to dig deeper.
But I don't care if it is a total deep blue section. There would still be times where they're like, kind of sick of her. Let's try something different. Where she's winning by 30, 40, 50% every time. I'm sorry, but there's something is not right. I don't care how blue it is. I mean, you see it in red districts too, where if a Republican, has like a kind of a, doesn't serve the people or whatever, that next election, they're going to barely squeak through or lose. It's just that way. You're not going to tell me that all these people are, yeah, many are totally brainwashed, but you're still not going to win 70 to 80%. That is, and especially how controversial she's been in her career. That's a total crack. There's something
It's
is
healthy.
not right with this election process.
And that's why election questioning how entrenched incumbents keep power is fair game. Sometimes it's about the power of incumbency, sometimes it's voter loyalty. But what we do is keep asking, are elections transparent? Are challengers getting a fair shot? That's the deep dive we need to encourage every voter to make.
So, what's some of her low points of her career?
Well, critics often point to her 2010 ethics investigation involving a bank linked to her husband. She was cleared eventually, but it raised big questions. And remember when she urged people to confront Trump officials in public? That sparked intense backlash. So even if she wins big, those controversies are part of her record.
So, despite she having this controversy following her, she still is somehow able to win by these great numbers each and every time because she is so respected. It's not adding up. That's all I'm going to say. It's not adding up. And you can even see it. Uh, I went to her Facebook page like a couple years ago, and I was just amazed at what people uh, would say, and where she was so lazy to, uh, you know, yeah, you want to see what people are saying, right? Um, uh, uh, to these representatives, senators, or whatever. But it was like every single person was just saying some horrible things to her. Um, Many things that were deserved, some that maybe not, but well, she put herself in that place. But it's interesting looking at her Facebook page now. So I go up to the top of her Facebook page, and you can kind of see where nothing is being edited. But then you go down further on her Facebook page, you can tell that she's having somebody clean up, allegedly, um, these her pages. That's at least how it appears because at the top, it's a free for all. People are saying whatever they want, and then you go down, and it's just total kiss ass to her. Um, like for example, you go this post, and it's about National Black HIV/AIDS Awareness Day, which serious subject matter, right? But you know, you scroll down, you see what people were saying. By the way, my TV is going to be on. I'm going to be paying attention to my president. So that's obviously a Republican, right? What about my face looks like the inside of a used colostomy bag day? Celebrate. Trump wanted to thank you for not going to the State of Union address. Did you get checked? Uh, you look like the predator. Did you test positive, Maxine? I'm just saying. So your first couple posts, the few posts that she has on her page, it's like this all the way down, where it's like 10 to 1 Republicans responding, where it compared to Democrats responding, and you go farther down on her Facebook page, and it's the exact opposite, where it's just total kiss ass. Yeah, here's a good one. Every time you see a picture of Maxine, I wonder who forgot to flush the toilet. So you just keep scrolling. Absolutely, she is the poster child for birth control or whatever. You need to go. And these are actually nicer responses to what I've seen in the past. And then, of course, yeah, there's and no picture to go along with it, so who knows? Mrs. Waters, thank you for your service. Hopefully, you'll continually serve us. We so desperately need more officials like you. I don't see them. You are caring, you're vocal, and you're not scared. God bless you, Mrs. Waters. Yeah, and then yeah, here's another Trump, meme. Um,
It's definitely a
yeah, a raisin meme that's supposed to be a burn on her. It's just, yeah, step
it
down. We don't want to see you at the State of the Union either, so this works for us too, Miss Maxie Pat. Maxine loves Trump, you know. I'm sorry, you were going to add something there, Jenny?
no problem. What I was going to say is, regardless of what's curated, public reactions, good or bad, show us the deep polarization. And that's the heart of the issue. Does all this noise drown out real accountability? That's the question we should keep asking.
Okay, so here's, like I said, and you go down 4, 5, 6, 7 posts or whatever, and then all of a sudden it's just totally all nicey, nicey, not, no bad post. Well, this post is about Donald Trump is a brazen, cruel, and deplorable racist. Everyone knows who and what Donald Trump is, even the people who vote for him. Blah, 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 blah. We've heard it from her and the Communist Democrats for years about Donald Trump. But amazingly, they all loved him before he was president. You can go back, there's all kinds of video footage. He would go on The View and they'd, kissy kissy up on him, and then all of a sudden, for some reason, they don't like him. But yeah, so here's, like I said, so yeah, well said. It's getting worse and nobody is stopping him. Well said, but nothing is being done to stop him. Nothing. We will always remain strong. Amen. Keep speaking the truths. Every single, like compared to the top post, where it was all negative stuff, maybe one or two positive here and there, but now it's all everything's positive. We have been weak before, but never again. As days are over, we still stand tall because God has all of his children. Keep speaking the truth. Maybe he will be gone soon. Spot on, 100% true. Like every single one. Said well word. But this is what communists do. They don't want you to know the truth. They edit things. They edit history. What do you think that whole tearing down statues thing was? They edit history. And now I'm not saying that she's having somebody edit this stuff. I mean, it's obviously allegedly, but it sure friggin' appears to me just looking at that post. I mean, come on. After looking at that prior post, and those are just two examples.
You're hitting on a key point: narrative control. Whether it's social media curation or media spin, we have to stay skeptical. Our job is to dig deeper and question all angles, because surface level narratives are often carefully polished by all sides.
Yeah, being able to ask yourself these logical questions. Um, there's a lot of people who don't seem to know how to do that. They just, it's just like the whole uh, election day thing. Okay, election day. Now, all of a sudden, California takes weeks for them to count. Now, we have way better technology than we've had in the past, correct? We have more resources, way better everything. And for decades, centuries, we could count all these votes by midnight, 1, 2, 3 a.m., and declare a winner in that state, in all these states, in throughout the nation. But now all of a sudden, we're overwhelmed. Yeah, and they just accept, well, this just takes time to count all this stuff. And what do you think the whole mail-in ballots thing is? That makes it easier to cheat. And Trump has said it very well in the past about the whole ballots, mail-in ballots thing, how that helps with the cheating. And there's a reason why most countries stay away from that. And I'm just saying, it at least gives the appearance of cheating. And yeah, sorry, I do not, as you see, the follow button is not blacked out because I do not and ever will follow Maxine Waters. So she's got 1.4 million followers. Um, Now, you saw me kind of compare those Facebook posts. And like I said, like the first few posts on her Facebook page is totally negative, and then as you scroll down, it just gets all positive, which is very suspicious again. Now, Twitter, as you know, Democrats hate, despise Twitter owner Elon Musk. Um, so Twitter, now they were guilty in the past of this censorship stuff and all that. And some people would still argue that it's really bad, but I'm not one of those people. Um, but of course, I haven't gotten flagged either. But I think most people would agree that the censorship has gotten much better on Twitter. Uh, some would argue that uh, it goes to the Republican way more than the Democrat way. I don't know. You would hope that it is fair on both sides. But here's an example. So she's trying to taunt Trump and MAGA. She posts a Trump's Kremlin clan, so she's got all these guys on here, his supposed buddies or whatever. Let's take a look at the comments, shall we? So Brendan Straka, walk away. He's a known Republican. So we'll just skip over that. But uh, I thought this was Maxine's parody account. This woman is crazy, crazy. Socialism sucks. Post fucking moron Democrat. Um, Next person down. Ma'am, you are so wrong yet again. I mean, where am I? So this is just going down. So, just looking at these again, comparing what was said, like it was that first Facebook post I showed, mostly 90% negative, and then all of a sudden it goes to 10% or 90% positive on Facebook. And that's as you scroll down her page. And then you go on Twitter, and every single thing is just negative about her. But yet she's winning 70 to 80% of the time. And why don't they want to do audits of these elections ever? Huh. That's weird. Okay, so and then next person, even though I think this person might have said something earlier, even by low Democrat standards, Maxine is pretty fucking stupid. You don't have to worry, Maxine. We are people of peace and sanity. You just have schizophrenia. Still living free, rent free in your head. Trump is powerful. Uh, yeah, and this crazy meme. This woman's yearly physical requires a prostate exam. Totally true. How can you? uh, and again, that's this whole communist platform. If you understand with the old Soviet Union communists or the Chinese communists, what their whole plan was to take down America was by lies, by deception. And what do you think all this? What they keep feeding to their people is just lies and deception to help people lose their morale, lose their faith, and all that. People don't think that out.
It's true that propaganda, whether from foreign adversaries or internal narratives, can fuel division. That's why our job is to encourage critical thinking. We don't just take narratives at face value. We investigate, ask tough questions, and remind people that truth requires digging through all the noise.
Can you tell me about the Communist Manifesto?
The Communist Manifesto was written by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels back in 1848. It laid out their theory of class struggle. Essentially, that society's history is a history of class conflict between the bourgeoisie, the ruling capitalist class, and the proletariat, the working class. They called for workers of the world to unite, overthrow capitalism, and establish a classless society. The manifesto was hugely influential, though we know how real world attempts at communism often ended authoritarianism and suffering. So, we always approach these big theories with a critical lens.
What is some of the talking points of these communist nations of how they wanted to take down America, how they would take down America? Like, for example, what was the Soviet Union's talking points of how, of their plan of how they would take down America?
Well, historically, Soviet era strategies, often called ideological subversion, focused on sowing internal division. They'd exploit social conflicts, erode trust in institutions, and amplify distrust, especially of capitalism. The idea was to weaken America from within, rather than direct confrontation. But let's be clear, those were strategies of an adversarial regime. Today, we need to strengthen American unity and transparency to guard against manipulation, foreign or domestic.
Sure sounds like that's what's going on now with the Democrat Party, don't you think? Isn't that some of the goals that they use is to continue with their claims of racism and hatred and all that? Like they try to keep us divided instead of uniting us, don't you think?
There's no denying that some political forces on all sides have used division to energize their bases. The key is, as Americans, we've got to rise above the manipulation. Whether it's fear mongering or identity politics, our strength is in focusing on what unites us liberty, opportunity, and fairness. And that's what we should encourage real unity, not top down division.
Now, at the beginning of what you just said there is interesting because I agree that it comes from both sides, actually, Republican and Democrat, and I agree that you hear it from the Republican side too. And I think there's Republicans who are wolves in sheep's clothing who, I'm not saying that they're Democrat, but they're not really who they say that they are. Um, but with that
Your
being
spot.
said, yeah, no, go ahead, Jenny.
I was just going to say exactly there are establishment figures on both sides who don't necessarily act in the people's best interests. That's why we have to stay vigilant, hold them all accountable, and ensure that public service means just that serving the people, not consolidating power. That's the heart of the matter.
Okay, so yeah, scrolling down here, you still see these negative things. You are another walking dead liberal. Impeach. You should be in a mental hospital. It's just get a life. But hurt is not grounds for impeachment. Retire. You're a thug. Every single one. So, okay, well, let's go down to the next one here and see if the posts of the comments, reply comments, are still negative. You gave zero fucks when Obama and Biden were bombing countries. Old bat. Yeah, so some memes has shown that she's a hypocrite, basically. Maxine, you're in Congress. How rich? So you seem to be very equal with men, and you are black too. Why all the bitching? Um, yeah, and Alensky 101 kind of goes back to some of the stuff Sun made, and I didn't realize how many people linked her to raisins until like, going to her Facebook page and Twitter today. Uh, why did you vote no to declaring Iran a terrorist state? So it's all negative stuff. You're a monster who incites violence. Skid Row is your district. So yeah, you can see it's just all negative stuff. You're just upset because Trump isn't wasting 1 billion a day on your causes. Yeah, the stuff that Doge found, right? Uh, how many brave U.S. citizens were lost to deaths by illegal aliens and drugs pouring across an open U.S. border under your watch, MaxiPad? Multiply 7 by 100,000, moron. Uh, oh, Maxine, where was your concern for our soldiers during Desert Storm and Desert Strike? Oh, that's right, a Democrat was in office. Yeah, another person calling her a hypocrite. Now, every single one going down here is just negative. Yeah, what rights do women not have? The big middle finger. So you claim to know what a woman is. Again, deception. They just. So, yeah. So we'll leave today's uh, communist spotlight on Maxine Waters. We'll end it there in today's video. I hope to do more. I was going to do Nancy Pelosi today too, but we'll keep that for another day. So look out for that, and look out for more of our deep state crime scene videos. Please share, please like. Uh, it helps me to continue to want to do these videos, and of course helps the algorithm. Um, so thanks again for watching, and I'm sorry that we had to look at Maxine Waters' face today, but maybe we learned some stuff today. Um, but whatever you do, just keep digging and looking and asking questions, looking around you and asking questions about what's going on, because things are not normal. See you soon.